Good morning. It's Friday, November 22nd, and I have made some of the statements that I am about to make many, many times. And this is about Israel, a small nation surrounded on four sides by nothing but enemies. And yet, with continued battles on all four sides, Israel has managed to contribute more to the world than most of the other countries that are in existence for many, many years more than Israel has been in existence. But those contributions mean little to the rest of this world for the most part, because Israel continues to be put upon by the UN and other types of nations constantly. They have been the most sanctioned nation in the UN. And why? Why is that? One reason and one reason only. It's the anti-Semitic actions of the rest of the world. Israel has been called upon to be sanctioned because they are a Jewish nation, and there is no other reason. And there are many nations in the world, and you all know this, that want Israel wiped off the face of the earth along with its Jewish population. So when the U.S. vetoes the UN Security Council resolution on a Gaza ceasefire, saying that the proposal must call for the release of hostages, they are standing with Israel trying to get those hostages back to some form of civilization. But that will not affect the ongoing prejudice against the Jewish people, against the nation of Israel. And the U.S. has stated many times we can't support any kind of action that does not call for an immediate release of these hostages. So this is but one instance of the actions that the U.S. has taken in defense of Israel. But there are other things that have gone on recently that need to be looked at. Because the White House is now worried because Senate Democrats are trying to push an arms embargo against Israel. Now that would weaken their defenses against the many enemies that exist on all four sides of the tiny nation. And we have to look at that closely, because we have U.S. senators and others who are siding with the many against Israel to withhold armaments that Israel needs in defense of its nation. And one of the leaders of that situation is Bernie Sanders, of course, because he doesn't know which end is up. He has joined the group of so-called progressive Democrats in pushing the bill that would go up for a vote that would block the sales of major weapon systems to Israel, including fighter jets and missiles and tank ammunition and more. But Biden is pushing back against this set of bills, which is going to be brought up before a Democratic-controlled Senate. And if it passes, it would impose a sweeping arms embargo against Israel. And what would that tiny nation do without these arms, surrounded on all four sides? So when you look at a group of people who are willing to step forward and deny Israel these arms that it needs, and to put 7 million Jews at risk, that just tells you something about how far anti-Semitism goes. You know that these people must understand the position that it puts Israel in if it does not have superior defensive weapons and superior defensive systems to protect its tiny universe from the rest of the region that they exist in. So we have these four progressive members of the Democratic caucus, so-called, in support of legislation presenting the sale of these key weapon systems to Israel. And it's a disgrace that they would think about doing that, putting the lives of 7 million people at stake. They have watched Israel defend itself many, many times over the years. And while they may not agree with some of the decisions that Israel has made, they must understand that Israel is a tiny nation surrounded by nothing but enemies. And we, as members of the United States, a nation that is supposedly without prejudice, and I say that in spite of what I know goes on in this country, that we as a nation must stand up and defend the Jew in the rest of the world. So I don't understand where Sanders is coming from, because he's supposedly being not a progressive guy right now. And I believe that he is a Jew. And now I am happy to tell you that they failed, that the resolution that they put up was defeated. I have just gotten that news. And so this rant, while it has many good things, it can be dismissed because the U.S. Senate has voted to provide Israel with their needed weaponry. And so once again, I will say, good has triumphed over evil. Evil that thought that they were doing good. So there we have it. Israel will get the defensive weapons it needs. And we can cheer about that. We can be happy about that. We can rejoice in the fact that those 7 million people are still able to protect themselves to the nth degree. So I leave you with that this morning. A ramble that comes to naught. Have a great day. Bye.